Hello everyone, it's me Cletus and I just finished watching Venom, Let There Be Carnage, starring Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson, Naomi Harris, Michelle Williams, and so on and so forth. Now, the Venom movie from 2018 was made by Sony in response to The Amazing Spider-Man 2 not being as amazing as people would have hoped. Basically, Venom was their last attempt to create a spin-off off of the rights they had for the Spider-Man series, and though it was a weird movie, it was certainly enough of a box office success to justify making a sequel. And not only is the sequel improved upon its predecessor when it comes to its pacing and its action, it actually happens to possibly be more important to the greater Marvel universe than I would have expected. Let's get to the story, shall we? The story is that Eddie Brock, once again played by Tom Hardy, is dealing with a criminal named Cletus Kasady, played by Woody Harrelson, a serial killer who happens to know the locations of several crimes that not even the FBI can solve. However, when Cletus Kasady happens to get a piece of the symbiote that's inside Eddie, that symbiote essentially morphs Cletus into the villain we all know from the comics, Carnage, essentially being coated in a blood suit. So not only is Cletus breaking out his girlfriend Shriek, played by Naomi Harris, but the two of them are going to wreak havoc all throughout San Francisco unless Eddie and his friends can stop them. But that's all I'll say about the story. Because the movie is only about 90 minutes long, it's basically able to get to the point of it very quickly. And the action and comedy start a lot faster than they were in the first film. I do think that the odd pacing and just the weird tone of the first film was one of its biggest negatives. But since this film leans into the absurd premise and the odd couple banter between Eddie and the symbiote more, I think it's able to accomplish more even with its limited runtime. Mainly because the movie is a bit shorter, every scene feels like it counts, even the ones that are played more for laughs. And not only are these scenes played for laughs, they also have a decent amount of heart behind them. Well, the amount of heart that you can expect from a Venom movie at this point. And I do think that Woody Harrelson actually manages to play up Cletus Kasady the way I'd expect him from the comics. Basically, he tries to play himself off as a victim of circumstance when really he's a total monster at heart. He may care for his girlfriend Shriek, but we all know he's a total mass-murdering lunatic when it comes to anyone else, including his own family members. Speaking of Shriek, Naomi Harris does a good job with what she's given, though she is a little underutilized in the film. Though that's to be expected when you have this many characters and only 90 minutes to cover it all. I wouldn't say the pacing is rushed everywhere, but I would say that it does leave one or two details left out and it leaves a few loose ends. But it also has not only some really funny scenes involving Venom and Eddie, but it also happens to have a great after-credits scene, which I won't spoil. But let's just say that Spider-Man Far From Home is going to have some new elements added to it that I didn't even expect when I was going into this film. And yeah, another one of the negatives that I'd say is that considering it's a movie about Cletus Kasady, you'd expect it to have an R rating to fully make use of Carnage's capabilities. But since it's PG-13, not only do you only have one F-bomb in the film, but not a whole lot of blood. And when you're dealing with a serial killer like Kasady, you'd probably want that. But as a whole, I do think Venom Let There Be Carnage is an improvement upon the first film, and it might actually be more important to the Marvel Universe at large, so I do think it's actually worthwhile, despite everything that happens in it. That's why I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. See you next time.